Hello folks, and welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to be comparing the original Apple Watch, which is the literally original one on the left, to the new Apple Watch Series 9. So let's take the watches away though and begin with the cases. So the original Apple Watch came in this nice plastic case here, where the watch would sit in this nice premium feeling sort of container, although it wouldn't be in there for very long, but you could put that in there and it felt a bit premium and a little bit more nice. Now the newest watch comes in this, not anywhere near as nice, but perhaps more eco-friendly, as once that original Apple Watch has done its purpose, it's unlikely that you will even use that case. So this is what it comes in now. It looks cool, but it's not quite the same. And it just slides open basically, and that's that. So nowhere near as nice as the original case that it came in. So that's the cases that these things came in, but let's forget about them for a minute now and let's look at the watches themselves. So these are the two watches side by side. So the first thing you'll notice is a big size difference. At the time when I bought this was the biggest size they did. This is now the biggest size they do of the Series 9. What else? So the backs are also quite different. This one could read your blood pressure and whatnot, but this one does a lot more with its sensors, including blood pressure monitoring, blood oxygen monitoring. It can tell you whether it would appear that you're having atrial fibrillation, along with many other things, which we'll show in a moment by unlocking it. Now this one is no longer registered to my watch. As you can see, the screen is extremely dark, and it doesn't really respond very well to input anymore. It does still kind of work, but it's stuck on, I think, watchOS version 4, and it's now on version 10. So what else is different? Digital crown is slightly different design with a sort of inlet bit there, and if you put your finger on this, it can actually also do more things with blood pressure. Buttons are the same on the side there. This one now has a little I believe a microphone hole there. On the other side, this one had multiple holes. This one only has one on the right. The straps attach in essentially the same way as they always have, so there's nothing new there, but there's lots of new different types of straps you can get, but they will attach, of course, to any watch. This one originally used sapphire glass, which is supposed to be really strong, but it has suffered damage since I've had it. This one I haven't had that long, so it hasn't suffered any damage yet. The other differences are in terms of software. And the biggest difference being that the original watch can no longer work basically at all. It can maybe receive messages and whatnot, but that's about it. And of course the batteries on it are absolutely now useless and essentially no longer function. I think it would last for about 5 hours, 6 hours, whereas this one will last days on this battery. And Apple won't even replace the battery on this because it's just not worth it. In fact, they won't even recycle it or take it in for recycling because they say it's basically not worth it. So I'll just hold on to it as a curiosity piece, perhaps, something like that. So this one does have a lot more software options available on it. I'll show you a few of those now. So in terms of apps, you can now obviously have more on screen at once. And this has 64 gigabytes of storage on it, whereas the original only had 4. So there's a lot of storage options on here. You can now also download music and pictures and whatnot directly to the watch. It's more responsive to touch as well. And you can go for things like a list view if you want on your apps instead, if you find that easier. I mean, that is easy, but I prefer this. I just think it's nicer looking. This watch you can will pick up on, if you take your fingers and you do that, it will pick up on that and can do individual things on the screen that match up to whatever you set it to. I've just set it to open up my notifications basically when I do that. And when you tap your fingers, you'll find it will open up things like this, where you can then scroll through and get rid of anything as needed. Another way it's different is that it is much more effective at using Siri. It answers much better than what the old one used to. You can still get it, of course, with LTE. You couldn't do that with the original one. I've chosen not to go for that option, though, on this. So, obviously, it's a much better watch, but price has gone up alongside it. So this one, when it was originally purchased, cost me £349. This one cost me £429. So they've gone up a fairly substantial amount in price, but it does have a lot more features. But generally, these things don't go up at that level of price. It is worth it, though, in my opinion. This one can also detect if you fall, if you have a car crash. Like I said, it does the blood oxygen level detections and whatnot. It can detect if you started to exercise. It can detect if you've... It can tell you what your mood is like and whatnot over it, but you have to put that information in. So you would put in, I'm feeling good today, I'm feeling bad or whatever. And then it can correlate whether you felt worse when you did exercise or better, that sort of thing. So that's my comparison of these two watches. Obviously the one on the right is better and does far more. I think it's just interesting to compare how far they've come, really. Even the screen is flatter and nicer on the new model, and it's slightly thinner too. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please remember to hit that like button, leave me a comment, subscribe to my channel, share this video, and of course feel free to check out my Patreon. I want to thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.